Hey, what's up, guys? Listen, I had to bring you horrible, but incredible, but unbelievable news in the Shanquella Robinson case. You guys sit down. This is a lot to take in. We have new information. If you guys haven't heard, the feds have refused to press charges, but there's more. They said that the extradition request has been denied. The case is dead in the water, but the reason for this is going to blow your mind. Are you guys ready for this? Because it's unbelievable. The autopsy report was fake. If the federal investigation can be believed and it was done on American soil, they were allowed to go to Mexico. Even that second autopsy that everybody was waiting for shows that Mexico lied. And when I say Mexico, I don't mean the Mexican government. Our government is saying that Mexico funeral home lied. Shanquella Robinson's spine was never broken. The crux of this investigation, we're going to get into this, but the crux of this investigation, the reason why all of this happened, hold on, guys, I'm just checking for new news. I'm overseas, but I'm going to try to go live later on today, but I wanted to bring you guys this information, and then we'll do a live later on today, because I want to hear what you guys have to say, okay? The crux of the investigation, what everybody believed and knew, what united the nation in rage, anger, sorrow, regret, cautionary tales. For the last 4 or 5 months, they are saying none of it is true. None of it. Our government, breaking news, the new autopsy report shows Shanquella Robinson's spine was not broken. They said the new autopsy shows Shanquella Robinson's spine was not broken. That finally directly contradicts claims of the Mexican authorities who said Shanquella Robinson's family was broken. Again, Mexico authorities. It wasn't just the funeral home. Mexico themselves also said that the spine was broken. An autopsy of Shanquella Robinson conducted by the Mecklenburg County Medical Examiner. This is the U.S., as we all know. This is the U.S. Medical Examiner, found Shanquella's spine intact. Shanquella's family attorney, Sue Ann Robinson, said at a press conference Wednesday afternoon, the finding directly contradicts claims of Mexican authorities who said Shanquella's spine was broken. Now, it is unknown at this time. Let me get through this, and then I'll let you know the other stuff about the blood alcohol level and stuff like that. As you guys know, Shanquella's family sought the autopsy by a U.S. medical examiner following questions on her death in Mexico, October 29, 2022. The Mecklenburg County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed to WTV on Wednesday that the autopsy was finished, but said it will be released by the state medical examiner's office. The office of the chief medical examiner had not released the autopsy as of the time of the press conference, despite a requirement by law to do so. People are guessing it's because the case is too high profile. In a release announcing the decision, U.S. Attorney Dina King said there's not enough evidence to charge anyone. Let us be clear, not enough evidence to charge anyone on two things. One, there's not enough evidence for them to charge them on U.S. soil. Two, that means the extradition request is denied. It is dead on arrival. It is DOA. Mexico investigators have previously filed charges in the case. U.S. authorities have not honored a request to extradite anyone to Mexico related to those charges. You guys, this is incredibly shocking. It is sad. It is confusing. Do we owe the Cabo Six an apology? Did we jump to conclusions? Did the medical examiner on U.S. soil do something? Do we owe the Mexico government an apology? Who is not telling the truth? Who didn't do a thorough investigation? Now, I will say this, okay, because it actually needs to be said, because we have to break this down. Again, the U.S. prosecutors will not bring charges in the murder case. Questions about her death emerged soon after. In their statement announcing no U.S. charges, United States Attorney Dina King and the FBI said that there was not enough evidence of wrongdoing to issue criminal charges in the case. Based on the results of the autopsy, which is her neck was never broken, and after careful deliberation and review of the investigative materials by both U.S. attorneys, federal prosecutors, we have informed Ms. Robinson's family today that the available evidence does not support a federal prosecution. Woo, this is a lot. This is a lot, but let's get in. Let's get into this, okay? Let's get into this. Now, if you guys are wondering, the family already has been notified. They arrived with their attorney at the FBI Charlotte headquarters. That was 4 hours ago. They were told the news. It is unclear whether they accept this news. It is unclear on where this travesty took place. You guys, we do not know if there was any blood alcohol. Let's go back, right? Because let's assume everything. We're going to discuss this more in the live, but from a legal aspect, let's assume everything that is in the U.S. autopsy report is thorough, is accurate, is complete. We've been begging. I've been screaming. I want a U.S. person to look at this. I want this. And now we have our own government looking at it and our own government saying that there was never anything there. When this happened, we questioned the way the Cabo Six reacted to everything. One of the reasons we questioned this is because it seems so unbelievable. But more importantly, the daddy knew something was wrong. He called the funeral home. The funeral home told him they wanted $5,000 to conduct the medical investigation, the autopsy. When they conducted the medical investigation, they said there was a spinal luxation. Mexico authorities confirmed this. U.S. are now saying nothing ever happened. U.S. attorneys have mentioned nothing about whether there was alcohol in her blood at all, which leads us to believe that there wasn't any alcohol in her blood. And if that's true, then that leads us to believe that the Cabo Six still have something to explain for, because if there's no alcohol in her blood found, then that whole thing about her that whole thing about her with the alcohol was completely false. There was no alcohol poisoning. You didn't die from cardiac arrest, right? If the medical examiners can be true, there are still unanswered questions. And true, there is no broken neck, which we need to actually go into that funeral home in Mexico and see what happened. Is the Mexico government going to bring charges against the funeral home? Is the Mexico government going to issue a rebuttal? How long have the Mexico government known that there was no broken neck? They are not required to share results, but they said that extradition papers were there. It can be said that Ben Crump did do his job. He put pressure on the government. He had the government intervene. An autopsy to see that there is no broken neck does not take 4 months. So that means that the U.S. government, in my opinion, started looking into this basically when Ben Crump got involved. And when they got a meeting with the White House, that's when the medical examiners in North Carolina did their job and they found this results. But this is still so many unanswered questions. They said there's not enough evidence. We're waiting for more information on what that needs. We know that the base of their case and the base of everybody's conclusion is that spine was broken. So who lied? Was it the Mexican autopsy? Was it the Cabo Six? Does not enough evidence mean that there is no evidence? Did they just get away with the crime of the century? Or do we owe them an investigation? Were these genuinely 6 kids, 7, that went down and only 6 came back? And even though they handled it grotesquely in a disgusting manner, from what it appeared, in my opinion, to be very, very cavalier, do we owe them an apology? Were their faces splashed all over Twitter, the internet, everywhere. And there's nothing there. And their version of events actually happened. But again, this calls into question what's going on with the alcohol poisoning. When did she drink? How come nobody else had alcohol poisoning? What about the concierge who said that he heard them laughing? What about the way they faked out, according to the concierge, unless the concierge is lying, they faked out the concierge, told him to make dinner reservations. He heard them laughing. He said he felt like they had made a fool of him. Said he heard them laughing. Told them, yeah, make us dinner reservations. And then ran to the airport, fleeing. What happened to the cause of death at 3 p.m.? Does that still line up? When was her time of death? The total results for the autopsy report has not been released. The attorney said her neck was not broken, and the U.S. is not only pressing charges, let's be clear, they are denying extradition. So as long as the Cabo Six never step foot in Mexico, they never have anything to worry about at all. You guys, this information is coming in. The family has been notified. We found out after the family. The family has been notified. They are meeting with, they've met with the federal authorities. New information is coming in as I'm filming this. That's why I'm waiting for the live. I want to make sure. Again, after the video emerged, what about the fight? They never explained why they were fighting. Cabo Six has not come forward. We saw that fight. It was vicious. We saw poor Shanquella laid out. Does that mean the fight had nothing to do with her cause of death? This doesn't make sense. Now, and we need to know more about this autopsy. Now, here's the thing. I am literally, my mind is spinning. They're saying she had a cracked spine and brought charges against one of her friends. There was not enough evidence of wrongdoing to issue criminal charges. Was there evidence of alcohol? We need to know. What happened to the fight? Did it not hurt her at all? We saw her laid out on the floor, her little toes in the air, what appeared to be lifeless. The concierge did say it happened 7 or 8 in the morning. He heard laughter. The Cabo Six's reaction, the family's not attending the funerals, nothing happening. This is before they knew that the family suspected them. The nation in an uproar. It took us 4.5, almost 5 months, and getting to the president's desk for the FBI medical examiners to even do the autopsy. I was super critical about what happened with Mexico. I do not believe they handled it correctly. But did they do a better job and show more care than even our government? As far as safety in Mexico, what does this mean? Does this mean that the doctor did administer 14 rounds of CPR, which is unnecessary and odd and impossible by most medical examiners, most medical experts in America? Impossible not to do so much damage that she'd be crippled for the rest of her life by even doing that. And that's, or in a vegetative state. So this happened because of her being in Mexico and that funeral home conducting an autopsy that the U.S. government is saying is false. There was never any broken spine. We do not know. Nobody seems to know whether there was alcohol in her blood. The Mexico autopsy didn't speak to that. The U.S. autopsy didn't speak to that. We don't know if that's because for the U.S. autopsy, there was not enough time. Too much time had passed. And, things decay. The doctor, so she was down there alone with these people who by their actions when they came off very callous and very odd to a lot of people, including myself. Family was suspicious. The father gathered up the money, paid. The doctor performed all this CPR, all this adrenaline shots. Well, the fight occurred 7:30 to 8:30 in the morning, according to the concierge. A lot of people thought she was it was a dead body that she was performing CPR on. The autopsy claimed that. What's going on with the doctor? Did she lie? Who's lying? Also, there's no broken spine, but is there anything else? What did she die of? We have literally seen a real life unsolved mysteries unfold in front of our face. The Mexico authorities went with this. Now that autopsy they're saying is fake. The U.S. says that there is not enough evidence of wrongdoing, which is not to say that there is no evidence of wrongdoing. They said there is not enough evidence of wrongdoing to file any charges, and the extradition request is denied. It took a GoFundMe, the whole nation in mourning, Nancy Grace, her family, all of Twitter, all of YouTube, all of Facebook, and attorney Ben Crump and Sue Ann Robinson to get in the White House for a meeting with the top guy, for the FBI to finally kick into gear, and 5 months later, finally look at the evidence and say, we don't see anything wrong. You guys, I'm going to do a live about this later. We need to talk about this, but I wanted to bring you that breaking news. Let me know if you guys want a live. I will be on live later. You guys, this is heartbreaking. This is tragic. This is unimaginable. But is this over? We're waiting for more information from her family, a bigger statement. Their hearts must be breaking. They must be, no one from the Cabo Six has issued any type of statement at all. But I guess we have our answer on why extradition had not been approved. There actually was something wrong with the paperwork. Actually, there was everything wrong with the paperwork. According to U.S. federal authorities, the North Carolina FBI branch. You guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Look out for a live tonight. Please share this with everyone. We're going to have to talk about this. All right, guys.